Okay, we'll start now. Right. So far, we discussed the sine PWM technique, selective harmonic elimination, and other unipolar and bipolar PWM techniques. Right. Okay. So normally, all these PWM techniques will control the each phase. In case of three phase, we have three phase legs, right? So each leg is separately controlled. So A phase leg is separately controlled with one modulating signal. Similarly, B phase and C phase with uh, two more modulating signals, right? So that means you can individually control each phase leg. So whereas this SVM, that is space vector modulation, so in this method, so you'll directly control the three phase, can directly control three phases in the inverter. You can directly control the three phases. So in case of sine PWM technique, so individual phases are controlled. In case of SVM, so you can directly control the three phases, right? So for this, some of these basic things are required. So that is transformation of axis. Transformation of axis, also known as Clark and Park transformation, is required, right? So usually, right, in early days, in 1920s and 1930, so what is happening there? So they are trying to model the so different machines such as synchronous machine or induction machine or induction motor, right? Transformer. They're trying to model that, right? Different machines. So what is the modeling? So modeling is expressing the machine parameters or the machine in terms of mathematical equations. So why it is required? So this is used to design the machine with the given specifications of load. So when you are properly model or when you are fitting those machine into different equations, we can find out these starter and rotor currents during starting or during a steady state, and also you can obtain the speed and torque of the machine. For example, if you want to machine, if you n and torque is given, the supply voltage is also given, so how much current that starter is drawing or how much current that inside the rotor is present, so all those things can be calculated, and also calculate the efficiency, torque, starting torque, and all the parameters of the machine can be analyzed. So for this, the machine modeling is required. Okay, so when you are deriving these modeling equations, right, so they have some problem that arises because of this mutual inductance between starter and rotor, right? So normally, if you starter, so you have three phase winding is there in starter, and rotor also you have three phase winding in general, right? So you have starter is having so inductance matrix, so that is in the form of 3 by 3. Similarly, rotor is having some inductance matrix, so that is in the form of 3 by 3. So when you are combining this one, right, so A phase starter, similarly B phase starter, C phase starter, so that will interact with, so that will interact with other phases, right? So that will other phases in the rotor. So therefore, this matrix will become 6 by 6 matrix. So this is A, B, C. So these are starter. Similarly, A, B, C. So these are rotor. So we have interaction between the starter and rotor. But the rotor is always rotating at certain speed, right? The rotor is rotating at certain speed. So what will happen? So whatever this inductor, this is LAA, for example, this is self inductance of A phase. So this is LAB, LAC. Similarly, this is LA. I assume this is rotor as dashes. So LAA dash, LA, L, LAB dash, LAC dash. Similarly, other terms. LAA is the self-inductance of A phase of the rotor, sorry, stator. LAB is self-inductance between A, means mutual inductance between A phase and B phase, A phase and C phase in the starter. So this is starter A phase and rotor A phase, starter A phase, rotor B phase, starter A phase and rotor C phase. Similarly, this matrix will become a 6x6 matrix. Okay, so all these parameters that are related only starter, right? So those are normally constant. So whereas these parameters, so this is between rotor and starter, right? Rotor and starter. Once this rotor is rotating, but the starter is stationary, right? So this one will vary with angular speed of the rotor. This one will vary with the angular speed of rotor, right? So therefore, they found some difficulty in modeling these machines because these variables are continuously varying with the speed of rotor. So these are speeding in this varying with continuously the speed of the rotor, right? So therefore, they come across with some different solutions. So one is Clark transformation. This is also known as alpha beta transformation. So it is also known as alpha beta transformation. So you have ABC phases, something like that. Assume that you have some voltages VA, so that is Vm sine omega t, and VB, so Vm sine omega t minus 120 degrees, and Vc, so that is plus 120 degrees. Right. So here this phase sequence VAB, VBC, and VCA. Right. So if you draw the phasor diagram for this one, so it will be something like this. So this is A phase, B phase, and this is C phase, and this angle is 120 degrees, right? Clear? So this three phase, right? This three phase we can convert into two phase. You have studied this, right? Three phase to two phase conversion. Three phase to two phase you might have studied, right? So one is when you're studying this, when you're studying induction motor, the flux resultant when you studied, right? You remember the air gap flux, the resultant air gap flux in induction motor. What is the formula? Remember that air gap flux in the induction motor. So that is phi maximum into cos, sorry, 3/2 phi maximum cos omega t, right? You remember this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You also studied the double, means when you study the synchronous machine, you must study this DQQ quadrature components and direct access components, right? Quadrature reactance and direct access reactance. You might have studied this, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
What is the theory when you studied this? You remember
Salient
that?
pole theory.
Double
Salient
level.
pole.
Double? Yeah.
Double field revolving theory.
Double
Yeah.
level.
When you're studying the double field revolving theory, you might have studied this, right? DQ axis. Okay. Simple thing, right? For example, this is x-axis, and you have this one, so bottom, right? So for example, this is the voltage, this is x-axis, and this is y-axis. Something like you remember that current, for example, this is current waveform. This is the resultant current. So this current I can be resolved into two components, right? So one is across these two, right? So what is the magnitude of this one? If this angle is theta,
I cos theta.
this is I cos theta, right? And this is I sin theta. Okay. This is I cos theta, this is I sin theta. So generally this is known as active component of current, and this will be the reactive component of current, right? This will be the reactive component of current. Similarly, these three phases, right? These three phases, whatever this there, right? This can be written in two phases. So something like this. So this is known as alpha axis, and this is known as beta axis. The three phases get divided into, or we are converted into two phases with alpha axis and beta axis. Clear? So how to do this conversion? So when you are doing this, so we have this V alpha beta 0. We'll discuss this. What is 0? So we have some constant zero minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2. So it's not 0. So 1 minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 0 root 3 by 2 minus root 3 by 2, and it is 1 by 2 and 1 by 2 1 by 2, and you have this V A B C. So meaning of this V alpha 0 or V alpha beta 0, so it's a matrix V alpha V beta, and this is V0. This is VABC. So it is a matrix VA, VB, and VC. Clear?
Sir, how we get this matrix?
So that's why, right? So any component we can be divided into two terms, right, based on this angle. Okay. So when you're dividing with x-axis, so this is I cos theta. Similarly, when you're doing with this axis, right? Okay. For example, this is the one we want to, right? This is the one we want to create this one. This angle is theta, right? And this angle is how much angle it will make?
120 minus theta.
This is theta 1, right? So this is theta 2, and this is theta 3, right? If you want this resultant, this one, right? This can be written as one term is I cos theta 1, so other term is I cos theta 2, and other term is I cos theta 3, right? Okay. This is how we will find out the resultant in case of this machine. This is how we will derive this expression, right? You remember that, I think. Okay. The same thing. So one we are aligning with the direct axis, that is direct, and other one is we are aligning with quadrature axis. So you will get two terms. So one is I cos theta and I sin theta. So the same thing, from that we will obtain this, right? So one is cos theta, right? So first case it is cos 0. So it is cos minus, I think, 120 degrees, and cos minus 240. What is minus cos 120? What is cos minus cos 120?
0.5.
Minus 0.5, right?
Minus 0.5.
Minus is
Okay.
0.5.
Yeah. Clear? So first term, this is 1, this is second term, and this is third term, right? The same thing you can analyze. If you have any doubts, you can refer to that flux derivation, the resultant flux derivation in the air gap. So that is there, right? So this is how the conversion is done, right? So alpha beta 0 to ABC reference frame. So we have this constant, this is 2 by 3, right? So this constant is 2 by 3. So when you're doing this, V alpha, right? V alpha, we assume that this is Vm sine omega t, right? So this V alpha will become, so Vm sine omega t, and V beta is Vm sine, cos omega t. It's clear? It's clear. So this is the conversion between alpha beta to, sorry, ABC to alpha beta reference frame. So when you're doing this, so you'll get something like this. So this is VA, and this is VB, and this is VC, right? And the resultant two phase is, so this is V alpha and this is V beta. So usually this zero term, that is V0, it is normally 0 for a balanced system. So V0 is normally 0 for a balanced system, right? So when you are calculating this V0, so that is 2 by 3 times 2 by 3 times 2 by 3 into 1 by 2 you have, right? So that is V alpha, sorry, VA plus VB plus VC. In a balanced system, this VA plus VB plus VC is 0, right? So therefore, so V0 is 0 in case of balanced system. So whenever there is unbalance between phases, then only you will get some finite value for V0, right? So therefore, this matrix can be reduced like this: V alpha beta only. So 2 by 3. So 2 by 3, 1 minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2, 0, root 3 by 2 and minus root 3 by 2. Into this matrix VB VC, right? So therefore here you have matrix V alpha V beta. Clear? Is clear? So this is ABC to alpha beta reference frame, right? So this is derived by clock, right? This is derived this. Okay, so this is V alpha and this V beta. So this is 3-phase to 2-phase conversion. Okay, so this angle is the difference between V alpha and V beta angle is 90 degrees. This angle is 90 degrees. Clear? Right. So once you derive this one, so once you derive this, right? So that means whatever you have this, right? So you derive this one, right? So this is V alpha and this is V beta phasor. For example, you have some resultant or something like this. The resultant of this V alpha and V beta. So this can be written as, this is for example V of t, this is the resultant of this one. So this V of t can be written as V alpha of t plus j into V beta of t. It's clear? Right. So that means you have this 3-phase. So this is VA, VB, and VC, right? So it is having some resultant. For example, this is the resultant of this one, V of t, right? So that means that V of t is this one. So that is V alpha of t plus j V beta of t. It's clear? That means we have converted this 3-phase to 2-phase. We have converted this into 3-phase to 2-phase so that we can easily extract the resultant of these 3 voltages, the resultant of these 3 voltages. Okay, so this is simple. What is the advantage? For example, if you are calculating the power in 3-phase, so it will be VA instantaneous power, VA IA, VB IB plus VC IC. In case of this 2-phase, so it is simply V alpha I alpha plus V beta I beta. Okay, so it is V alpha I alpha plus V beta into I beta. So that means the equations are slightly simplified, right? And another thing is we can express the resultant of this 3-phase, right? The resultant of this 3-phase. Clear? So now come to this 2 by 3. So this 2 by 3 term is there, right? Okay. So when you consider 2 by 3, so in that case, for example, if you choose VA as, for example, root 2 into VRMS sine omega t, so that means at the same time, so this V alpha will become the same thing. So that is root 2 VRMS sine omega t. Right. So there is another one. So that is root 2 by 3. So that means this constant, if you choose 2 by 3, so in that case, so V alpha will become root 3 VRMS sine omega t. Root 3 VRMS sine omega t. Okay. So here, right. So here, so this, in this case, whatever the power is there in alpha beta reference frame and the power in ABC reference frame, so both are same. So that is power invariant. So this is power invariant. So we have to choose root 2 by 3. So this one is magnitude invariant. Invariant. Okay. I will summarize this one. So the constant of coefficient, so before this transformation, we may choose 2 by 3 or we may choose root 2 by 3. Okay. Right. In case if you choose 2 by 3, whatever the magnitude of A phase, whatever the magnitude of A phase and alpha phase, so both are same. Okay. So A phase magnitude and alpha phase magnitude, so both are same. If A phase is root 2 sine omega t, means root 2 Vm sine omega t, alpha phase also Vm sine omega t. So in case of this one, the power is remains same. But alpha phase, right, in case of A phase, so if it is root 2 V sine omega t, so this alpha phase will be root 3 V sine omega t. So here the power is remain same and here this magnitude is remain same. Voltage magnitude is remain same. So in general, this 2 by 3, use it to when we are controlling the voltage. For example, if you are controlling the voltage or any parameters, right? If we normally use this voltage, this 2 by 3, if you want to control the active and reactive currents or active and reactive powers, so we need to use this root 2 by 3. So this is to control active and reactive powers. It's clear? Is clear so far?
Sir, where we are choosing 2 by 3 and root 2 by 3, sir, out of the that matrix of V alpha 0.
That's why what we are saying, right? So see here, all these transformations, right, we are using in different applications, right? In your application, it insists to control the voltage, right? It insists to control the voltage. You have to choose 2 by 3. Okay, this is for controlling the voltage, right? If you have an application of controlling the active and reactive power, we have to choose root 2 by 3. Yes.
So we are choosing root 2 by 3 also the out of the matrix box, na sir, V alpha 0.
Yeah. So
Yes,
this is, so instead of 2 by 3, right? So instead of 2 by 3, you just replace with root 2 by 3. That's it. Okay. So that matrix will be some like this. It is alpha beta 0. So this 2 by 3, it is root 2 by 3. So now this matrix will be 1 minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 0 root 3 by 2 and minus root 3 by 2. So it is 1 by root 2. You have earlier you have 1 by 2. Now it is 1 by root 2. It is 1 by root 2, and you have this I ABC. Okay, it's clear. So IABC means it's a column matrix, IA, IB, and IC. So generally this is column matrix. So I alpha, I beta, and I zero. Clear? It's a column based matrix. It's clear. Okay, so far we discussed three-phase to two-phase transformation. So that is also known as Clark transformation. So it is also known as stationary reference frame. Stationary reference frame. Right. Okay. Still the reference means still these magnitudes are varying, right? Still in case of three-phase, just simply we reduced one phase, right? Okay. So after that, so we have this Park transformation. Right. So here, so this is the resultant, right? This is the resultant. So we have this alpha and this V beta. So this resultant is moving, right? So this is a phasor, so that is moving, and these are fixed ones. Or in other words, its speed is omega, its speed is 0. And the speed is 0. Clear? Right. Its speed is 0. So when you're doing this, you'll get some sine wave. Right. So this is for another one, right? So now I want to make this constant, right? So I want to make this constant. So what we have to do is, so now we need to rotate this reference also. We need to rotate this reference. For example, this is moving at omega speed. So if we also move this one at omega speed, so this point will become constant, right? So this point on this resultant vector, so it will be constant. A simple logic, right? So you have two trains are there. So this train is moving in this direction and you are standing stationary, right? So something like it is alpha beta. And you are observing this point. So that means this train is moving at some speed omega, right? Okay. The train is moving at some speed omega. This is another second case. That means you are observing from a stationary point. So here also it is omega, but you are also moving at omega speed. Okay, so this is the reference point. So you are also moving at omega speed. So how this look like?
Stationary.
So it look like some
Stationary.
stationary point, right? It look like some stationary point. Okay, so earlier one, so we kept the axis stationary. That means alpha axis and beta axis, we kept it stationary so that you obtain this two-phase waveform, right? So now if you change, it means if you, whatever the resultant vector is rotating, if you also rotate at the same speed, so what will happen? So this resultant value will become stationary, right? So that means earlier you obtained this one, right? So when you are doing this one, so here you will get some stationary, so one, and this is another one, right? So this is known as VD and this is VQ, right? So these magnitudes are depending on at what point you're taking that instantaneous value. So this is V alpha and this is V beta, and this is their resultant values, VD and VQ. So when you rotate this at speed of omega, it's clear? It's clear. Just simply we are rotating the reference so that this resultant, that means VD and VQ, will become constants. So for this you required Park transformation. So Park transformation will convert this alpha beta 0 reference frame to DQ0 reference frame. So DQ0, that is direct axis and quadrature axis reference frame. It's clear? It's clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for that, what we have to do is, right, so we have this V alpha beta 0. So we need to multiply this one with cos theta, sin theta, right? 0 minus sine theta cos theta 0. So this is 0 0 1, and you have other side, so that is V alpha beta 0. Okay, V alpha beta 0. Clear? So this theta, right? So this theta is the angle between this resultant and this one. So that means this is alpha axis and this one, right? This is the resultant. So this angle is theta, right? And this one is rotating now. This one is rotating at omega speed, right? So this is also rotating at omega speed. So that means this theta is, we can found this theta is, so omega dt. Okay, so omega is the angular speed of the that reference. Okay, so it is rotating at omega, so that is the angular speed of that reference waveform, right? Clear? So we have this alpha beta 0, right? So this alpha beta 0, that is V alpha beta 0, right? The same matrix. Okay, this matrix. So this alpha beta 0, it is 2 by 3 again, right? It is 2 by 3, and you have 1 minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2, 1 minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2, 0, root 3 by 2 minus root 3 by 2, and you have this 1 by 2 1 by 2 1 by 2 into this VA VB VC. Okay, so this is direct conversion between, this is this side you have dq0. Okay, so I have wrongly written, this is dq0. Okay, right? That means we can directly convert this one. So V dq0, so if you do this, you will get 2 by 3 cos theta minus 2 pi by 3 cos theta minus 4 pi by 3 sin theta minus 2 pi by 3 and sin theta minus 4 pi by 3, and you have 1 by 2 1 by 2 and 1 by 2, and here you have this VA VB VC. Okay, so don't be get confused. So this is dq0 to alpha beta 0 reference frame transformation, right? And this is direct transformation, so dq0 to ABC reference frame. Okay, dq0 to ABC reference frame, right? So in case of stationary, we also discussed theta equal to integration of omega t, right? This is theta, right? In case of alpha beta reference frame, this omega is 0, right? This alpha beta reference frame, the omega is 0, right? Because it's stationary reference frame, therefore that speed is 0. So that means it is 0. That means this theta is also 0. Okay, if you substitute theta cos theta, so that is 1, right? Again it is, if you substitute 0 here, cos minus 2 pi by 3, so that is minus 0.5. Similarly cos minus 4 pi by 3, that is minus 0.5, and this sin theta, you will get 0 here, and sin minus 2 pi by 3, so that is root 3 by 2. Okay, it's clear? So if you substitute theta equal to 0, you will get the equations for alpha beta reference frame. Okay, so this is conversion from ABC to dq0 reference frame. In dq0 reference frame, so whatever that sinusoidal quantities will become DC quantities. That means AC is converted to DC. Right. AC parameters is converted into a resultant DC parameters by using this DQ transformation. Clear? Is clear? By using alpha beta transformation, 3-phase is converted to 2-phase. By using this DQ transformation, this AC quantities are converted to DC quantities. So AC quantities are converted to DC quantities, right? So what is the advantage with this DQ transformation? So in general, for example, if you're doing this one, you can do this for current waveform, or it may be voltage waveform, it may be flux waveform or flux linkage waveform, or it may be flux waveform. Right, this resultant or this transformation can be applied to any of this one. It may be current waveform, voltage waveform, or it may be flux linkage waveform, or it may be a flux waveform. Okay, for example, if you implement this current waveform, so you have this ID and you have this IQ, right? So that means this ID is right, this ID will be resultant of this active power, and IQ can control reactive power. Okay, so for example, if you want to inject some power to a grid, if you want to inject some power to a grid, so we need to control both active and reactive power. Okay, if you want to inject some power to a grid, you want to control both active and reactive power control, right? So therefore, so normally, for example, you have PI controller, right? So these things will be used in PI controller, for example. Right, so here, so PI controller will work best with when its input is DC quantities, right? So that means if you have PI controller or something like this, right? So that means this is ID reference value and this is ID actual value, right? If these two are DC quantities, this ID reference and this ID actual, so if these two are DC quantities, so this tuning of this PI is easy and it will work well. Okay, so therefore when you're using this DQ reference frame, the tuning of this PI controller is easy. You can easily control the active and reactive power in the grid, or when we are supplying to the grid. And moreover, in case of machine, right, in case of machine, right, you have torque is there and speed is right. In case of machine, you can separately control the torque and speed. In case of machine, you can separately control the torque and speed. By using this DQ reference frame, you can separately control the speed of the machine and torque of the machine, right? So all these things are not important for right now. So it may be you will learn all these things in your separate, for PED there is separate courses there, right? Machine modeling. So all these things you will learn in depth. Okay. So only thing you have to remember is this Clark transformation and this Park transformation, and alpha beta reference frame and this DQ0 reference frame, right? So normally this omega equal to 0, that is speed of the reference is 0. So that is known as stationary reference frame. Stationary reference frame, or also known as alpha beta reference frame, and the speed omega equal to the synchronous speed. Okay, the speed omega equal to synchronous speed, so that is known as synchronous reference frame. That is known as synchronous reference frame or DQ reference frame. So when the speed is omega equal to omega r, that is the speed of rotor speed. Okay, so this is known as rotor reference frame. It is known as rotor reference frame. That means the reference is fixed in the rotor. So it is anything, right? It is omega equal to omega, that is any value, right? So it is known as arbitrary reference frame. Okay, so normally we have these four kind of reference frames that is used, right? One is omega equal to 0, that is stationary reference frame. Synchronous reference frame, that is the reference frame speed is equal to the synchronous speed of any machine. Right. Rotor reference frame, that means the reference frame is fixed in the rotor speed. And arbitrary reference frame, that is general term, right? That means omega equal to any value of omega, right? Clear? So these things will normally used. Okay. The advantage with this synchronous reference frame is it will make the equations easy, and control of active and reactive components or power components, it is easy. So this is what we discussed. So this is three phase. right? So this is three-phase quantities. Now we are converted to two-phase quantities, right? And after that we are converted to DC quantities. So here it is alpha beta reference frame. From here you require DQ reference frame, alpha beta to DQ reference frame. Okay, so this is the angle, this is alpha axis, this is the angle theta. Okay, so this reference frame can be theory can be applied to voltage waveforms, current waveforms, flux linkage waveforms, flux waveforms, or any values, right? Okay, so another advantage I will quickly complete. In case of power system, right, for a power system transmission lines we have, okay, this is assume that this is A phase transmission line equivalent, and this is B phase transmission line equivalent, and this is C phase transmission line equivalent, right? So assume this is L, this is also L, right? This inductance is L. So normally transmission line, the lines are usually very close to another phase. So therefore, there is just some mutual inductance between A phase, B phase. So this is mutual inductance between A phase, B phase, and this is mutual inductance between A phase and B phase. Is clear? Is clear? So we have considered one transmission line of three phase, right? The line inductance is, I assumed it is L, but there is just a mutual inductance between the lines that I assumed as M. Okay. So how the matrix will look like? Inductance matrix. So it is self-inductance L. It is M. So it is mutual inductance LM. This is, agree? This is A phase, right? This is A, B, C, and this is A, B, C. This is agree? This is the inductance matrix, right?
Yes,
This
sir.
is agree? You have any doubts on this?
No, sir.
Right. So this is the inductance matrix. So when you're actually using this for this one, right? When you're actually using for any calculations or anything, right? So it is difficulty, right? So by using this transformation, we can convert this inductance matrix. So that means this L 3 by 3. I assume this I convert into alpha DQ0. So that means you have this transformation matrix. I assume this is Ks. So this Ks is the transformation matrix. Whatever the root 3 into some cos theta sin theta is there, right? That is I assumed as transformation matrix, right? And you will get 3 by 3 in ABC. Okay, I will get 3 by 3 in ABC, right? So this one, this also can be written as same thing. I will duplicate this one, Ks into L 3 by 3 ABC. So that is equal to Ks into L 3 by 3 ABC. Okay, same thing, both are same, right hand side and left hand side I have written the same thing, right? So for this L 3 by 3 ABC, right, so this is Ks, so this is L 3 by 3 ABC. So if I move this one to other side, so this will become Ks inverse, right? Agree? If I move this one to this side, so this will become Ks inverse, right? So on left hand side you have 3 by 3 ABC, on the right hand side you also have 3 by 3 ABC, right? Okay, so when you are actually doing this, Ks into Ks inverse A by 3, right? So what you will get is, you'll get some strange thing. So you'll get Ls, that is L minus M, 0, 0, 0, L minus M, 0, 0, 0, Ls, sorry, L plus 2M. So this is the inductance matrix. Okay, it's clear?
Yes, sir.
It's clear. Okay, so what you observed here, so this is the inductance matrix in DQ0 reference frame. Okay, the same inductance matrix, earlier one is L, M, M, right? It is M, L, M, 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 and L. So what is the difference here? So here this 0 means, what is the significance of this 0? So that means A phase and B phase is no longer mutual. That means there is no mutual inductance between A phase and B phase. Similarly, A phase and C phase, so there is no mutual inductance. Clear? So whatever, that means that earlier there is a coupling between A phase, B phase, B phase, C phase, and C phase, A phase, right? So that coupling is now lost, right? So this is 0, these elements are 0, right? That means the mutual inductance effect is adjusted here. Okay, the mutual inductance effect is adjusted here. So that means it is easy to deal with this matrix when compared to this one, right? It is easy to deal with this matrix when compared to this one. In case of power system transmission line, the mutual inductance between phases is lost. That means the phases are now decoupled. The coupling is lost and the phases will become decoupled. So this is the specific advantage in case of transmission line by using this this access transformation. Okay, clear? So this is about the basics of this transformation. You will get more when you study. Maybe you have different subjects are there, right? Okay, grid integration course is there, and you have separate course for machine modeling. So all these courses is about to discuss this transformation, right? Okay, so now we'll come to our actual discussion. So that is implementation of space vector modulation, implementation of space vector modulation to three-phase two-level inverter, three-phase two-level inverter. Okay, so this is our actual discussion, right? So let us assume that this is three-phase inverter. So this is fictitious point O, this is imaginary point O. Clear? So when we are studying this 180-degree mode, right? We discussed different modes, right? You remember that 612. You remember this, right? 1 2 3 2 3 4 3 4 5. This is switching modes, right? This is 4 5 6 and again 5 6 1. I think you remember this, right? Okay. You remember this, right? Switching states.
Yes,
This
sir.
is 1 2. This is for 60 degrees. 1 2 3 switches are on in the next 60 degrees. So this is all when you study a 180-degree mode of operation, right? Okay. Right. So let us assume that, right? So we will define two switching terms. One is P positive and the another one is N. Okay. So one is P and another one is N. So P switching state, that means, so that is, it may be 1 or 0. Just N switching state, it may be 1 or 0. So this P switching state, right? If I assume that this is corresponding to upper switch. Okay. Right? The P switching state is corresponding to upper switch. So I don't want to confuse. Okay, so let us assume this upper switch is on, right? If this assume that this upper switch is on, right? So what is the voltage you will get between this A and this point? So the voltage is positive, right? That voltage is positive. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Voltage is positive, right? When the upper switches are on, that voltage is positive. Clear? So that means assume that switch state is P. That means upper switch is on. So when upper switch is on, the switch state is P. Similarly, assume that switch state is 0 when lower switch is on. Okay, so just simply remember when P is when the upper switch is on and 0 when the lower switch is on. Okay, right. So now we will write this one. It may be some matrix of with P0, P and zeros, right? This 6 is corresponding to which phase? This is B phase, right? 6 is corresponding to B phase, right? So this bottom switch is on, right? Okay, this bottom switch is on. In case of this 6, this is the one, right? This bottom switch is on. So what is its switching state? It is P or 0?
Zero.
Zero.
It is 0, right? So that is corresponding to B phase. If you have A phase, C phase, so here 0 state here. This 1 is corresponding to A phase. So A phase upper switch is on, right? So what is its switching state? What is the corresponding switching state?
P.
P, sir.
P, right? Similarly, this 2 is corresponding to C phase and it is bottom switch. So therefore its switch state is 0. Okay? This clear? So that means the overall 3-phase switch state is P00. So that means upper switch is on in A phase, bottom 2 switches are off in B phase and C phase. Okay? Clear? So that is the nomenclature we have given. Similarly, we will complete this one. So 1, 2, 3, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1 is corresponding to A phase. So that is on, upper switch is on. So that is P. So 2 is corresponding to this C phase and this is 3 is upper switch, right? So that is PP0. This is correct? This
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you complete this one, so you will get, so this is PP0, so 0P0 and 0P0 and 0PP and 00P, and we have this P0P, right? So we have this P0P. Okay, we have switching state right now, and this are we are converted into a corresponding some matrices form, right? So that is on and off. When the upper switch is on, we assume that that state is P, and the lower switch is on, we assume that state is 0. Clear? So we have some other states, right? All the upper switches are on, right? So all the upper switches are on and all the bottom switches are on, right? So that means there is some additional states 1, 3, 5. So all the upper switches are on and 4, 6, 1, 4, 6, 2. Okay. So upper switches are on and lower switches are on, right? So what is the switching state here? What is the switching state here?
PPP and
PPP
0.
0.
PPP and 000, right? Agree? So this is PPP and this is 0, 0, 0. So what is the corresponding voltage here? Right, what is the corresponding voltage? Okay, we'll discuss this, right? So that means we have 8 switching states. Okay, so total we have 8 switching states, right? So that is 2 to, we have 2 PR0, right? By using this, so how many possibilities are there? So it is 2 to the power of 3, it is 3 phase, right? So how many possibilities you have? It is 2 to the power of 3, so that is 8 possibilities, right? So we covered everything, right? So starting from 0, 0, 0 to PPP. Clear? So this is how normal these things will be there, right? Okay, is clear? The same thing. Okay, this is clear. We just converted into by using different states. So now we have these pole voltages VA0, VB0 and VC0 are the pole voltages, right? So sum of these 3 pole voltages, that is VA0 and VB0 and VC0, that is 0, right? Agree? The sum of these pole voltages VA0, VB0 and VC0, so that is 0 always, right? So now what we have to do is we will convert this pole voltage, or we will convert these 3 phases, right? So these are of 3 phases, so we will convert this 3-phase pole voltages to 2-phase, the 3-phase pole voltages will convert to two phase by using alpha beta reference frame, right? So now we have this V alpha term and this is V beta term, and I have to select 2 by 3. So why I have selected 2 by 3? Why I am selected 2 by 3? There are two choices, right?
Voltage one.
There are two choices, right? One is 2 by 3 and the other one is root 2 by 3. Pole root under 2 by 3. Because we are controlling the magnitude of voltage, right? So that's why I selected 2 by 3, right? So if the application is controlling the some other thing, active power or reactive power, right? So normally we have to choose root 2 by 3, okay? And here we have this VA0, that is,
Constant.
yes,
Voltage magnitude.
yes. Our objective is to find out the resultant voltage and we are controlling the voltage, right? So therefore, so we are selected 2 by 3. So this is alpha beta transformation, and we have this resultant vector, that is V of t is the resultant of these two, and this we can written as V alpha plus j into V beta, right? V alpha plus j into V beta. Is clear? V alpha plus j into V beta. Is clear? So to expand this one, right? So this expand this one, V of t is, so how to write this one? So 2 by 3 into, right, 1 into Vf0 minus 1 into Vb of 0 and Vc of 0, right? So this we can written like this. We'll quickly go through this. Right. So Va0 into e to the power of j0 plus Vb0 into e to the power of j 2 pi by 3 plus Vc0 into e to the power of j 4 pi by 3. What is e to the power of j theta? What is e to the power of j theta?
Cos theta
It
plus
is
j
cos
sin theta.
theta plus j sin theta, right? Okay. What is e to the power of j0? So it is cos 0 plus j sin 0, right? That means it is 0. One is 1 plus j0. So that is the first term, right? So this is 1 here and j0. And what is e to the power of j 2 pi by 3? So that if you substitute here, so you will get the rest of the things, right? Clear? It's clear.
Yes, sir.
It's clear, right? Okay. So remember this VS0, VB0, it may be a pole voltages or it may be a phase voltages. So that means VS0 and VB0, it may be a pole voltages or phase voltages. Right. So whatever that analysis is remains same, right? Because difference of these two pole voltages or difference of two phase voltages or two terminal voltage, so that will gives you the line voltage. Okay. The difference of any pole voltage or difference of any phase voltage, that means phase voltage you cannot directly measure, right? So therefore it is load phase voltages. So VS0, VB0, VC0, it may be load phase voltages or it may be simply pole voltages. Is clear? So the resultant vector we have written in this jth form, so that is V alpha plus j V beta. Okay, so let us assume that, so this VA0, VB0 and VC0 are the phase voltages, and we consider star connection, right? And we consider star connection. It's clear? It's clear? So let us assume you remember that, right? Phase voltage is how we are obtained. In case of 612, that is right. you remember this, right? Phase voltages. I hope you remember this. So what is the magnitude here? What is the magnitude? 1 by 3 Vs, right? And this is 2 by 3 Vs. Okay. So these are the load phase voltages, right? So now we will consider step by step, right? So 612. So this is corresponding to 612 is corresponding to, I think, P00. Okay. So this is P00 vector, right? This is P00 vector. So in first case, P00 vector, I'm considering the first one. So what is Vs0? I think we
Sir, it
derived
is
this.
0 P0.
We discussed this, I remember. Okay, I think it's missing somewhere. You remember that, right? We discussed. Right. See, in case of P00, if you actually draw the waveforms, right? If you actually draw the waveforms, in case of P00, right? So it will be 2 by 3 Vs and VB0. So this is corresponding to 561, right? And this is corresponding to 5612, and this is corresponding to 123. So 612 we are talking about, right? VB0 is minus 1 by 3 Vs, and VC0, so that is minus 1 by 3 Vs. Okay. So this is corresponding to 612. This is corresponding to 612. Right, this is A phase output, right? Similarly, this B phase output is 120 degrees displayed, and C phase is displayed by another 120 degrees, right? So for a particular case, so Vs0 is 2 by 3 Vs, Vb0 is minus 1 by 3 Vs, and Vc0 is minus 1 by 3 Vb. Okay. So if you substitute here, so we have this expression, right? V of t is 2 by 3 Vf0 e to the power of jt0, and Vs0, Vb0, and Vc0. We need to substitute now. Okay, if you substitute this one, so V of t, this is corresponding to 612. So that is corresponding to P00. And you just substitute Vs0, Vb0, and Vc0 in the actual expression. So that means you will get, so 2 by 3 e to the power of j0. Clear? You will get 2 by 3 Vs into e to the power of j0. Clear? This is corresponding to P00. Similarly, if you do the same thing, V of t corresponding to the same thing, similarly we are doing corresponding to PP0. So you will get 2 by 3 Vs into e to the power of j pi by 3. Right. So similarly, V of t corresponding to 0 P0. So you will get 2 by 3 Vs e to the power of j 2 pi by 3, right, and so on. So the entire thing will be look like something like this. This is V by 2 here, and V of t in case of the other one, so that is 0 pp. So it is 2 by 3 Vs e to the power of j 3 pi by 3, or simply pi. Okay, V of t 0 p. So it is 2 by 3 Vs e to the power of j 4 pi by 3. The other one, so that is P0p. So it is 2 by 3 Vs e to the power of j 5 pi by 3. Okay, we are starting from e to the power of j0, e to the power of j pi by 3, j 2 pi by 3, j 3 pi by 3, 4 pi by 3, 5 pi by 3. And similarly, if you substitute v of t, so that is p, so all are turned on, so you will get 0. Similarly, corresponding to 0, 0, 0, you will also get 0. It's clear? It's clear? Just simply substitute the load phase voltages, instantaneous values, right? We have divided this one, we already exercised that. So just simply substitute that and you will get these values. Okay. So the overall, right? These are all vectors, right? We have 8 vectors starting from 0, 0 to p. So out of these 8 vectors, so this will give some finite value. This is also give some finite value. This is also give some finite values, right? So whereas these 2, that is p and 0, 0, 0, so this will gives you 0 value. Okay. So that means you have overall 8, that is 2 to the power of 3. So out of these, 6 are active vectors. 6 are active, whereas 2 are 0 vectors. Okay, all these are vectors, right? So here we can write like this. So this is space vector we define. This is V0. This is corresponding to switch states PPP and 0, 0, 0. And this is the switches that are on. All upper switches are on and all bottom switches are on. And this corresponding voltage is 0. And I assume that this is V0 vector. Okay, I assumed as V0 vector. And the second one, this is active vector. This is corresponding to P00, 1, 6, 2 are on. And this corresponding vector is, that is 2 by 3 Vd into e to the power of j0. I assume this is V1 vector. Similarly, this is V2 vector, V3 vector, V4, V5, and V6 vectors. Okay. So there are 8 states in a 3-phase inverter, right? So those are, we divide it into 2 groups. One is 0 vectors and active vectors. 0 vectors and active vectors, right? So 0 vectors will produce 0 output voltage, active produce some output voltage, right? So we have with active vectors we numbered as V1 to V6, 0 vector we numbered as V0. Clear? So now how to write this one, 2 by 3 Vs, how to draw this waveform, 2 by 3 Vd e to the power of 0. If you assume this is origin, right? So this one, right? So this one is 2 by 3 Vs or Vd, right? So this is e to the power of j0, right? You agree? This is V1 vector. Similarly, V2 vector, so which is making a 60-degree angle with V1 vector, right? So this is 0, right? It is j to the power of 0, whereas this one is j into pi by 3, right? So that means there is another vector. So this vector, so this is V2 vector. So this is V2 vector, and it is making, that is, its magnitude is 2 by 3 Vs e to the power of j pi by 3. This is clear now? And this angle is 60 degrees. Clear? Similarly, this another vector, it's something like this. So this is V3 vector, and this is V4 vector, and we have this V5 vector, and we have this V6 vector. This clear V6 vector, that is 2 by 3 Vs e to the power of j 5 pi by 6. It's clear? It's clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Its magnitude is 2 by 3 Vs, and it is changing, right? So we have this 0 vectors, right? So this 0 vectors which lies at this origin. So we have this 0 vectors. So we have these 0 vectors. So this is corresponding to, this vector is corresponding to P00, and this is corresponding to This is corresponding to PP0. I think this is corresponding to 0P0, and this is 0PP, and this is 00P, and this is P0P, and we have these 0 vectors, so that are lies at the origin. So therefore we have this PPP and 000. Is clear? Is clear? So we defined 8 space vectors. Out of that 8, 2 are 0 vectors and 6 are active vectors. Right. So this active vectors. So this is forming some. This is known as space vector diagram. Space vector diagram. Right. Is clear? So by connecting these, you will get some kind of some shape, something like this. Okay, you will get this kind of shape, right? If you connect all the endpoints of all the vector, you will get this kind of shape, right? Okay, so we'll get some, what is this, hexagon, right? We get some hexagon, right? Okay, so inside this hexagon, so there is just one triangle, right? Inside this hexagon, there is just one triangle, sorry, one circle, right? You can inscribe one circle, right? Something like this. By touching all these points. Is clear? So now tell me, what is the radius of that circle?
Vector length
2 by 3 Vs.
2/3 Vs.
2/3 Vs is its magnitude, right? Okay. So I want a circle which is inside that hexagon. It's definitely not 2/3, right? It's less than 2/3.
Yes, less than.
Oh. Can you derive that? Can you derive its magnitude? Can you derive its magnitude? So that is from here to here. Up to this point, right?
Six root 3.
How to find its magnitude?
6 root 3.
At 30-degree angle.
Sine 30 into 2/3 Vs.
Yeah. So here, this is touching here, right? So therefore, this waveform touching here, right? Okay, clear. So we need to find out this one, right? This angle is 30 degrees, right? So this orthogonal component will lies here, right? So therefore, what it's supposed to be? So it is 2/3 Vs into sine 30 degrees, right? Is clear? Is clear? Sine 30 degrees. Or cos 30 degrees. Can anyone tell what is its magnitude? What is the time? Okay, we'll discuss in the next class. I think time is over. Okay, so you will get 2/3 Vs into its value is root 2/3, so that you will get Vd Vs by root 3. Okay, that is the circle that is inside this one. So we'll discuss in the next class. Okay. You have any doubts on this?
Sir,
If you have any doubts, you can ask me now.
sir, sir, if we are
Yeah.
converting three-phase into two-phase system,
Okay.
so then also, sir, L will be vary, na? Just
Mhm.
L of rotor will be also variable, sir.
Yeah, it's also variable.
So then
Okay.
what is the purpose of converting three-phase into two-phase, sir?
Three-phase into two-phase, we can find out the resultant magnitude, right? We can easily find the resultant magnitude. Resultant vector we can find, right? By using this V alpha plus J V beta, we can find the resultant vector. By using
In three-phase, it is not
three-phase to two-phase transformation, we can find out the resultant vector. Okay, this is the value, right? We can find the resultant vector. This is V alpha and V beta, Vm sin omega t and Vm sin omega t. The resultant vector is V alpha square plus V beta square. If we do that, we'll get this resultant vector, right? Okay, that is
Yes,
the
sir.
advantage with three-phase to two-phase.
So only this and not this, sir. For this time, why we are doing this? For only this or resultant vector?
Three-phase to two-phase, still the values are moving. Still V alpha and V beta are not a fixed one, right? Still they're sinusoidal. If the A phase, B phase, C phase are sinusoidal, V alpha, B beta is also sinusoidal, right? But their
Yes, sir.
angle is 90 degrees. So that means we can,
Yes, sir.
whenever we have that orthogonal components, right? So we can finding out its resultant easy. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. If any other doubts?
Sir, the radius is 2/3 Vs into cos 30, not sin 30.
What
Sorry.
is cos 30, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it's cos 30.
We'll
Sorry, sir.
discuss in the next class
Yes.
that we'll discuss. Okay. You have any doubts on this? Anyway, you will study in depth on this reference frame theory. We will also study that when we have something like grid integration is there and phase lock loops are there. When you study that, right, we'll study in depth on this. By that time, you might have some portions covered in machine modeling or anything, right? Okay. Okay. So right now you just focus on alpha beta reference frame, that is ABC to alpha, that's Clark transformation. So rest of the applications of Clark transformation that we will discuss when you are actually controlling the active and reactive power for a converter, that we'll discuss in later classes. Okay. Clear? Okay, I'm signing off.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.